In a post-apocalyptic world, an ice cube sells for hundreds of millions. Neighbors are rushing to buy a popsicle as a bride price. Girls are rushing to marry me, but I won't sell any of them, because I'm the only one who knows that in a week's time, the temperature will rise 100 degrees. The heat awakens the monsters buried beneath the Earth's crust, and those who are exposed to the sun will turn into man-eating zombies. In my past life I licked Lu Ruyan for 18 years, but she broke into my house with a male bestie. Not only did she take all my supplies, she humiliated me to death in front of me. Now reborn into a new life, I vowed to pay her back 1,000 times over. I would pay her back 1,000 times over. And the first thing I did, I went back to my place of employment. The most important thing in a post-apocalyptic world is supplies. In the previous world, people not only had to deal with all kinds of monster attacks, they also had to fight against people around them. They had to fight against those around them. This time I had to be well prepared. I just stepped into the company's door. I was 2 seconds late. I was docked half a year's salary. In my last life, my boss ran away early after the end of the world. My 2.5 years of salary were all thrown money down the drain. This time, all the supplies in the company's warehouse. As my compensation, when I thought of this, I opened my hand. I used the ability and space that I awakened in my last life. I directly took in all the materials in the warehouse. Inside the different space, not only is there a huge amount of space, and time is relatively static. No matter how long the food is kept, it will remain fresh. In a post-apocalyptic world, a single expired sausage can win the favor of 10,000 girls. And eating fresh food is something that no one would dare to think about. Then I looked at the list of space supplies. With so many supplies, it should be enough to last me a long time in this post-apocalyptic world. I couldn't help but get excited at the thought. Finally, I don't have to live in poverty in my last life. At that moment, the boss walked into the warehouse with 2 of his employees, but found that the huge warehouse was empty at the moment. Then the boss pointed at me and loudly asked Su-chun, "Where are the supplies in the warehouse? If you don't tell me the truth, I'll deduct your salary for 100 years. I laughed at that. I've taken all the stuff. I teleported outside the warehouse. The different space can not only store the goods. I can also do a space jump within 3 meters. Just as I was about to continue my zero-cost shopping, my cell phone rang. When I saw the caller ID, I was instantly gloomy. It was Lu Ruyan calling me. As soon as the phone was connected, Lu Ruyan's impatient voice came from the inside. "Su-chun, how dare you disappear with me? And you dare to list the house with the agent? Do you think you bought a house? There are still women who will look at you, your responsibility as a man. Although I don't care about your house, but I'm also a woman. If you don't give me the house, how can I feel safe to be with you? I'll give you one last chance. Come back right now and transfer the house to me. Otherwise you can't marry me." But before he could finish his sentence, I hung up the phone. "Lu Ruyan, in my last life, if I hadn't searched for supplies to feed you, you would have starved to death in the post-apocalyptic world. You would have starved to death in the last world. But you betrayed me. This time I'll make you pay for it. I won't let you die so easily. All the pain I've suffered, I want you to pay back 1,000 times over. But before I do, I had to stock up on supplies. So I immediately called the agent. Mr. Lu, I can sell my house for half price. But there is only one condition. That is, I want cash." Soon I took a taxi to the agency, and Lu Ruyan and male bestie Yellow Hair have been waiting here for a long time. As soon as they met, Lu Ruyan came at me aggressively. "Su-chun, do you know how long I've been waiting here?" But I just ignored her. I went towards the store. When I saw that, Yellow Hair blocked in front of me and shouted, "Su-chun, who told you to sell the house? How dare you sell our house? Believe it or not, I'll make you not see the sun tomorrow." As soon as he said that, I grabbed him by the neck. And threw him to the ground. "I can do whatever I want with my things. It's not for you to tell me what to do." Seeing this situation, Lu Ruyan immediately came up to pull Su-chun. "Somebody help. Someone's killing someone." But the next moment, I directly slapped him 2 meters away. Lu Ruyan was in disbelief. Once licked his 18 years of bootlicker. Now he dares to hit him. Looking at the Yellow Hair on the ground, who was about to suffocate and kept begging for mercy. But I smiled coldly. "Don't worry. You won't die too soon." With that, I threw Yellow Hair out of the room. At this time, Lu Ruyan, who had regained his senses, got tough again. "Su-chun, before I get angry, kneel down and apologize to me. Otherwise, you can never marry me in this life." However, he got a murderous look in return. The 2 of them were so scared that they ran away. "Su-chun, you wait for me." After walking into the agency, Mr. Lu immediately came up with a big smile. "Little brother, I'll pay for your house. What do you think?" But in his heart he laughed coldly. I don't know where the stupid kid came from. A house that costs over $1 million is only sold for $700,000. I could have made a few $100,000. And I didn't refuse. But the premise is, you have to pay the full amount within today, after signing the sales contract. I laughed at the idea that when the end comes, all the money in the world can only be taken to the coffin. Soon my bank card received a transfer of $700,000. But that's a drop in the ocean. It was a drop in the ocean. I had to find a way to get more money. And that's when it happened. I was attracted to a small advertisement on a pole. It's a great way to get money fast. So I immediately went to the loan company. I said I wanted to mortgage my property. Wang Dehai of the loan company said the maximum amount was $500,000. And the house book must be kept with him first. I slammed the house book on the table. Add another $100,000. Wait until I recoup my losses. I'll pay you back right away. When I heard that, Wang Dehai instantly understood. So this kid is a gambler. As long as he's involved in this stuff, I'm afraid I could sell my own mother, still hoping to recoup his losses. I'll play you to death. Soon my bank card was credited with $600,000 again. Then I went to the Green City Hotel, the best hotel in the city. In my previous life, many buildings. They all collapsed. Only the Green City Hotel has survived to the end. It also has a high-class presidential suite. And a swimming pool. I can use this place as a base. I can live here for a long time. And although there's a lot of supplies hidden in the different space. But there's no hot food. So I went straight to the hotel manager. I said I wanted to book 1,000 tables for a high-class banquet. Although Lu Xinrui was shocked. Lu Xinrui was shocked, but still quoted the prices of the banquet. There are 5,000 and 10,000 tables. There are also 30,000 and 100,000 tables on the internet. I ordered 1,000 tables at $10,000. Then I said I'd pay 500,000 in advance as a deposit. The final payment will be made a week later. Lu Xinrui smiled and told me to follow him to the office to pay the deposit. At the same time, in his heart, already regarded me as a rich kid, knowing that the 1,000 tables of banquet would cost $10 million. So, he immediately wanted to make friends with me. It's worth it to have a relationship with a rich man. Lu Xinrui smiled and asked Mr. Su, "Are you getting married?" I smiled and said yes. The banquet is for the wedding. And book me a presidential suite. After all this, I left the hotel satisfied. I thought, I'm going to have 1,000 tables of fine dining. I felt a sense of relief. As for the final payment, when the end of the extreme heat comes, I can sell a block of ice for billions of dollars. After I left, Lu Ruyan was sneaking around with yellow hair. They came to Lu Xinrui. "Hello, I'd like to ask, what is that man doing here?" "I'm his girlfriend." Lu Xinrui took a look at her. "She's not even half as good as me. Why do all rich people like this nowadays?" But he still told me about the banquet. He told me. Hearing this, Lu Ruyan and yellow hair were both shocked. But that's impossible. How can Su Chun have $10 million for a banquet? Seeing that they didn't believe me, Lu Xinrui directly handed them the payment record. In front of them. Seeing this, the two of them were sure. Su Chun is really a rich kid. Soon after, Lu Ruyan came outside the hotel with a happy face. She never dreamed. The life of a wealthy wife that she has always dreamed of would actually come true for a bootlicker like me. And on the other side, when I got home, I started doing some math. So far, I still have a lot of necessities that I haven't bought yet. It takes a lot of money just to put down a deposit. And I didn't have enough money left to splurge. So, I turned to some lending apps. And after a series of operations, I was able to borrow as much as $970,000. And then I started buying all the essentials. What I couldn't buy at the supermarket, I bought everything online. And on top of that, I ordered 2,000 tons of anthracite coal. I ordered 2,000 tons of anthracite coal from a coal owner. Because the extreme heat will be followed by the extreme cold. If we can survive it. Depends on how much warmth we have. Then, I made an appointment with the owner of the ice factory to order ice. But I just walked out of the neighborhood. Lu Ruyan and her phony friend Li Na stopped me in my tracks. In my past life, this is the same Li Na. She kept criticizing me in front of Lu Ruyan. She even encouraged her to take over my house. When I thought of this, I asked in a cold voice, "What are you doing here? What's the matter?" At this moment, Lu Ruyan hurriedly walked up and said, "Su Chun, can you stay with me? Yesterday was my fault. I shouldn't have lost my temper with you." When I heard that, I just shook off his hand. "You guys can go shopping by yourselves. I have something to do." Lu Ruyan and Li Na both thought that. Lu Ruyan and Li Na thought it was a test from the rich kid. So they took a cab and followed me. Soon I arrived at the ice factory and met the owner. I didn't say much. I asked the owner, "How long does it take to make 2,000 tons of edible ice?" When I heard that, the boss immediately bragged about the efficiency of his factory, and guaranteed that it would be ready in 2.5 days. I paid a deposit of $100,000 to the boss. After receiving the money, the boss happily asked me. He asked me if I was organizing a big event. I said I was doing charity. Right after I left, Lu Ruyan and her girlfriends immediately approached the owner. when they found out that I bought $800,000 of ice. They were so shocked that their jaws almost dislocated. Suchen, he's definitely no ordinary rich kid. Otherwise, who would be stupid enough to buy $800,000 of ice to do charity? And after all this, I went to an upscale restaurant in the city. In my previous life, I was too busy being a bootlicker. I didn't enjoy my life. Now, let me enjoy the time before the end. So I ordered a random dish from the restaurant. The waiter told me. The waiter said that the chef himself had made this dish. As for what to make, depends on the chef's mood. A few moments later, a beautiful pink-haired woman in a professional outfit, carrying the dishes away. Hello, sir. I'm the chef of Dumbbell Music Restaurant. I've customized this dish according to your temperament. I've customized the dishes according to your temperament. But when I saw who was coming, I was shocked. It's actually her. Hell's demon chef Duanya. In her past life, she had the magical culinary skill to turn the decrepit into the miraculous. It's impossible to resist the temptation. Even the dishes. It was made with the meat of a mutated beast that is fatally poisonous upon consumption. Seeing my shocked face, Duanya was a little embarrassed. What kind of expression is that? Are you afraid that a pretty girl like me will poison the dishes? I quickly reacted. I started to taste the food in front of me. If we were in the post-apocalyptic world, I wouldn't dare to eat her food so easily. After dinner, I went back to the bar, immersed myself in a life of opulence. Right at this moment, a girl whose heart was broken by a player leaned towards me. She decided to get back at him the way he did. This scene, Lu Ruyan and her best friend, who were following her, saw it. Seeing that they were going to hurt me again, I immediately grabbed her and ran upstairs to the private room. Once inside, I locked the door behind me. Then I hit her on the forehead with my head. You're too young to be a good boy. Love brain, don't come to places like this anymore. Don't go out for a few days. Stock up on food at home. After saying all this, I left the bar. 2.5 days later, the supplies I ordered were delivered to the warehouse in the neighborhood. Looking at the various luxury banquets in the warehouse, Lu Ruyan was immediately proud of himself. In his opinion, I must have made such a grand arrangement. I must be proposing to him. So he came over. He pretended to ask Suchen, why did you buy so many things? But I said, can you help me move the stuff? I'll tell you when I'm done. When I heard that, Lu Ruyan's face immediately darkened. Are you kidding me? I'm going to be a rich lady. How can I do this kind of work? Li Na reminded me that he must be testing you to see if you're qualified to be a rich lady. Hearing Li Na's analysis, Lu Ruyan immediately got busy. I'm not that kind of woman. To be a rich lady, you have to be good in both character and education. As long as I can stand the test, Suchen will definitely marry me. The phony friend on the other side is also not willing to show weakness. Brother Suchen, I'm here to help you too. At those words, I laughed inwardly and said, free labor, I don't want it for nothing. There are so many supplies. Even if I hired someone, it would take a long time. After working for half a day, the time has come to evening. At this moment, Lu Ruyan is so exhausted that her chest is almost touching her back. But in order to become a rich lady, she insisted until the end. Meanwhile, Li Na is also so exhausted that she has collapsed to the ground. Suchen, this asshole. He made us move so many things. At this time, Lu Ruyan said out of breath. Now that the test is complete, Suchen should announce me as the bride. So he staggered behind me. He asked, Suchen, do you have anything else to say to me? But I gave the delivery drivers. I gave each of the delivery drivers 10,000 red packets. Then I said to Lu Ruyan in a cold voice, thank you for your help. But there's no reward. You can go now. When Lu Ruyan heard this, he looked at Suchen with disdain. Don't be ridiculous. The banquet is getting cold. You'd better let the guests out. Let's get married and have a good life. But I said I also want to. But now I've not only sold my house, and I'm in debt. Do you want to live with me? A life of misery? At that my best friend said, no way. The banquet alone costs over $10 million. How can you not have money? These things are not mine. It's all supplies for a big boss doing good deeds. I'm just doing him a favor. After hearing my explanation, Lu Ruyan's face sank. You bastard, you've been lying to me all along. Then he grabbed at me with all his teeth and claws. But I easily dodged it with a sideways move. What did I lie to you? Lu Ruyan, who was on the ground, had his veins popping out. Suchen, you asshole. You're not a rich kid at all. You'll never marry me again. When I heard that, I looked at you with disdain. It's as if anyone would want you, a money grubber. Then Lu Ruyan left the neighborhood. He left the neighborhood with Li Na. I went to the warehouse. I started checking the supplies I bought. After confirming that they were correct, I used different space to put all the supplies in. After finishing all this, I checked into the presidential suite of the Green City Hotel. I didn't expect Yellow Hair. He brought his big brother to the door. Yellow Hair said he was his boss. This is the guy. He bullied my woman. And Yellow Hair's big brother is the man who not long ago. Wang Dehai, who gave me a mortgage loan. Wang Dehai recognized me as soon as we met. So it's you. How dare you hit my brother? The 600,000 you owe me is almost due. Now it's time to settle old scores with new ones. Hearing this, Lu Ruyan and Li Na on the side immediately showed a look of disdain. So you're really a poor loser. I wiped my mouth and said, you're so noisy. You can't even let people have a good meal. Wang Dehai smiled coldly. Boy, tomorrow we'll pay back the money. And you still have time to eat here. Don't tell me you can get $600,000 tonight. Behind the yellow hair is a little impatient big brother. Don't talk to him. Let's kill him now. But at this moment, the hotel manager came out in time to persuade a few people. Have a good talk, ah. We are all civilized people. Wang Dehai smiled and said, no problem. No problem. You let this kid kneel down to apologize to my brother. This matter is over. Hearing this, Lu Xinrui immediately turned his head to seek my advice. But I smiled and said, he's just a punk, not to be feared. Hearing this, Wang Dehai was outraged. Did I give you a hard time? Today, even if the King of Heaven came, it wouldn't work. As soon as he spoke, a man came in with a group of people. Who gave you the guts to cause trouble here? When he saw the man, Wang Dehai immediately lost his nerve. What are you doing here, Kung? I also recognized the man's identity. Skull Shatterer Gao Chong. In his past life, Gao Chong was one of the most powerful men in Xanadu. Hell's Demon Chef was one of his men. The reason I'm here is because of him. After Gao Chong's mediation, I didn't fight with Wang Dehai after all. A few moments later, I returned to the presidential suite. I looked out the window. In my last life, I hid in the basement with Lu Ruyan. We survived the extreme heat of the end of the world. I never thought I'd see him here again. This time we can settle our old grudges together. Meanwhile, in the pool outside the hotel, Wang Dehai and Yellow Hair realized that the moon was unusually hot tonight. But before they could think about it, the moon in the sky suddenly exploded with a strange energy. In the next second, the temperature outside instantly soared 60 degrees. Feeling the heat, they rushed back to the hotel as if their lives depended on it. But even so, Yellow Hair and the others still felt like exploding from the heat. So, they rushed to the fish tank in the lobby, soaking in the cool water to lower their body temperature. But soon Yellow Hair realized something was wrong. Where's Big Brother? However, Wang Dehai was already fat from the moon. Seeing this, a little brother rushed forward to check the injury. Brother Hai, you have to go to the hospital. Wang Dehai immediately called gang lackey Little Knife. He asked him to come to the hotel to pick him up. But Little Knife just drove out of the parking lot. The moon blew out his tires. Seeing this, Little Knife got out of the car and complained about the weather. It's 2:30 in the morning. It's as bright as day. And it's so hot that the tire is actually flat. Dagger just wanted to tell Wang Dehai about the situation. But before taking a few steps, the soles of his shoes were instantly melted by the hot ground. And he himself fell into a dog's ass. He just wanted to get up. But he realized it was too late. The next moment, Dagger's screams came from the other end of the phone. As the moon continues to emit great heat, the outdoor temperature quickly rose to 75 degrees Celsius. The ground temperature reached over 100 degrees Celsius. The city's power center couldn't withstand the huge load. Instantly exploded. The entire city's power system was paralyzed at this moment. Seeing that the knife on the other end of the phone did not respond, Wang Dehai couldn't help but sigh. Dagger should be gone. Due to the power outage, the temperature in the room quickly rose to over 40 degrees. Even without clothes, they are still sweating. If this continues, sooner or later, everyone will die of heat. But at that moment, Lu Ruyan suddenly thought of something. I remember Su Chen's presidential suite has a swimming pool. We can grab it. On the other side, while everyone was smoking hot, I was relaxing in my room playing in the water. With the experience of my last life, I was well prepared. Not only did I equip the room with several vertical air conditioners, I also prepared a large storage battery to ensure the temperature of the room. With the ice I ordered a while ago, it can be said that in this extremely hot post-apocalyptic world, I'm living like a god in this extremely hot post-apocalyptic world. Then I took out a bunch of food from the different space. Just as I was about to have a snack, there was a knock on the door. As I opened the door, there was a pleasant coolness. It left Wang Dehai outside the door irretrievably captivated. Then I looked at them coldly. What do you want from me? Yellow Hair saw the scene inside the room. He immediately yelled out, Big Brother. Look, it's ice. The room not only has a pool, there is also food. Heard that, Lu Ruyan, who was behind us, immediately came up and said, Su Chen, we're dying of heat. How can you enjoy it alone? You're too selfish. That's right, asshole. You borrowed so much money from me. It's time to pay back. Give up your house. Consider it interest for a few days. When I said that, I shot him straight through the belly of the pig. Feeling the sharp pain coming from his body, Wang Dehai was shocked. He was actually shot. Then I looked at Jane with cold eyes. Anyone who dares to take one step closer to the room, that's the end of it. Hearing this, Lu Ruyan and the others were in a cold sweat. Where did this guy get a gun? Wang Dehai gritted his teeth and said, Su Chen, how could you get this thing? I'll give up this time. As soon as he said that, I shot him through the pig's hoof again. Get the hell out of here. What are you talking about? Now, on the count of 3, you get out of my face right now, or you'll be here forever. At the same time, the lobby of the hotel is in chaos. What's going on? How can there be no food in your hotel? The hotel manager apologized. 2 days ago, someone booked 1,000 tables. We ran out of food. We were going to buy more today. Then the crime boss said in a cold voice. Then send all the remaining food and water. Deliver all the remaining food and water to my room. The moment he said that, the other guests in the hotel protested loudly. Why should all the food and water? You don't want to give us a chance to live. At that moment, Huang Mao assisted Wang Dehai came to the hall. Help! Su Chun has killed someone. Soon a few people will be just things. Add oil and vinegar, said again. They also told everyone that I had hidden supplies. Hearing this, a group of people went towards my room in large numbers. I opened the door again, feeling the coolness of the room. All of them looked greedy, but soon, they covered it up. Young man, we're here to discuss a matter with you. Isn't this a time of crisis? There's air conditioning in your room. Can you let us in to cool off? Young people should respect the old and love the young. But suddenly, a kid saw the coffee table in my room. Next thing I know, he's rushing in like a madman. Mommy, I want fried chicken. But he was met with my merciless kick. Soon the kid was kicked 2.5 meters out of the room. Keep your kids in line, or I won't mind doing it for you. There was a lot of anger in the crowd. He's just a kid. How could you do that? People like you don't deserve to be in this room. He's alone. Let's all go. But I raised my hand and fired. I hit the man at the back of the crowd. As he fell, the crowd froze in place. The crowd, which was still agitated, froze in place. I said in a cold voice, I'm alone. But you only have one life. Under the pressure of my force, the crowd could only return to the hall. Only Lu Ruyan and Li Na stayed behind. Su Chen, if you let us in, I'll agree to marry you. I smiled coldly at that. Fine, then you can come in. But at that moment, Yellow Hair was the first to rush into the room. Su Chen, it's all your fault. I'm going to kill you. But the next second, I took out a baseball bat. I swatted Yellow Hair, flying dozens of meters. Seeing that Yellow Hair was unconscious, Lu Ruyan and Li Na were in a panic. Let's not go in. It's fine outside. At the same time, a modified armored car stopped in front of the hotel. Then, several heavily armed soldiers entered the hotel. Is academician Lu Jinghua here? We're a rescue team. Please put on your thermal suit and leave with us. Then the soldiers said to the agitated crowd. Please calm down, everyone. The rescue trucks can't carry this many people at once. Officials are now launching a rescue operation. You can go to the rescue point at 12:0 a.m. when the temperature is lowest. When the temperature is at its lowest, you can go to the rescue point on your own. The crowd cheered at the news. It's great that the government is not completely paralyzed. At that moment, the crime boss suddenly rushed towards the soldiers. I am Sun Debiao of the Sun Corporation. I am Sun Debiao of the Sun Corporation. Give me your thermal suit. I'm leaving now. But the soldier pushed him to the ground. Academician Lu Jinghua is a geologist in China. He was instrumental in this disaster. Please don't get in the way of our operation. Seeing that Big Brother is under control, Gao Chong and his men were outraged. Just as the rescue team was about to leave, Lu Ruyan stopped the soldier. Soldier, wait. There's a murderer living upstairs. He's got a gun. He's already killed several of us. The soldier immediately took off his insulated helmet. You guys go ahead. I'll call you when I'm done. Then he took his weapon and headed upstairs. I'd like to see who's behind this. How dare you? Seeing this, Lu Ruyan was so pleased with himself. When Su Chun is dead, I'll be able to wait for help in that room. The soldiers had just reached the middle of the hallway. He realized there was a camera hidden in a potted plant. The next moment, a flash bomb was thrown from the room. With a flash of intense white light, a figure appeared behind him. When he woke up again, I had tied him up in the room. Lu Xiaofeng, vice captain of the special team. Now that he's awake, let's talk. Seeing the room filled with ice, Lu Xiaofeng is a bit confused. Who the hell are you? And where did you get the gun and flashbangs? I smiled at that. I'm just a recent graduate. The gun was picked up during a trip to the Middle East. Then I asked him, have the officials set up a rescue point, with the intention of letting the residents make their own way there in the wee hours of the morning. And when he answered in the affirmative, I sighed. It seems to be similar to the last life. Then I said to Lu Xiaofeng, although the temperature will drop a lot in the early morning, but if you are exposed to the moonlight for more than 10 minutes, you'll faint. Many people die on the road. Lu Xiaofeng was a bit helpless. There's nothing we can do about it. Although we have established a safe zone. But it's very difficult to modify the rescue vehicle. Many people can't hold out any longer. We can only let them go to the rescue point on their own. At this point, I patted him on the shoulder. In fact, thick quilts and thick cotton clothes also have the effect of insulating the temperature. If you don't fall, should be able to increase the survival rate. Then I untied him. I respect what you have done. So I won't kill you this time. But I won't tolerate your provocation again. Soon after Lu Xiaofeng finished explaining about the quilt, he followed the rescue point and left. Seeing the rescue team leaving, the crime boss slapped Gao Chang in the face. What's the point of me raising you? When I was being controlled just now, why didn't you do something? Gao Chang could only tolerate this fat bastard silently. After all, when order is restored, he still needs to use the fat man's relationship with the top. But I'm laughing now. The world is already in chaos. Boss Gao, you still think you can restore order? Then I poured the ice from the thermos on the table. Boss Gao, I'm here to make a deal with you. After seeing the ice, Gao Chang was shocked. The little brother beside him even screamed, damn, it's actually ice. Boss, let's kill him. All these will be ours. But he just wanted to reach out and grab it. But I pressed the AK-47 to his throat. At this time Gao Chang smiled back, Suchin brother. Don't get on his bad side. Let's talk about cooperation. Soon after negotiating the cooperation, the two of them were enjoying eating ice cubes from a thermos cup. But the next second, the crime boss kicked Gao Chang in the stomach. That's quite something, Gao Chang. How dare you hide ice cubes behind my back? Next time you don't take out something this good, you're dead. But Gao Chang stabbed him in the neck. Su Chen is right. It's a chaotic world now. And I don't need to put up with you fat ass anymore. So you go to hell. I'm in charge of this place now. Everyone else can either go to the rescue point, or die here. Seeing this scene I also pondered. Obviously my words have had an effect. In his past life, Gao Chang rose to power in this hotel. If I accelerate this matter, will your chance come sooner? Under Gao Chang's oppression, the residents of the hotel began to cover themselves with quilts and started their expedition. Now if they stay in the hotel, they'll only die of thirst. There may be a chance of survival outside the rescue site. But the heat outside is worse than they thought. Even with wooden planks tied to the soles of their shoes, they could still feel the heat of the ground. At that moment, an old lady tripped and fell. The next moment her whole body was like an ice cream, directly melted on the ground. The people who saw the scene didn't dare to hesitate. They rushed towards the rescue point. Meanwhile, in front of the Green City Hotel, the two corpses lying outside suddenly opened their scarlet eyes. Then they hissed and rushed into the hotel. Gao Chang and the others who saw the scene were scared to death. Zombie is actually a zombie. Seeing that the Bombi is about to pounce on them, Gao Chang grabbed Yellow Hair by the neck. And blocked him in front of his body. Even though he didn't directly touch the zombie, but he still let go of his hand because of the temperature around him. At that moment, I carried a 2.5-meter sword over to him. They all moved out of the way to see this. Gao Chang sneered. We're waiting for Su Chun to finish off the zombie. Let's kill him. Looking at the two corpses in front of me, I'm not afraid at all. The heat will cause the corpses to mutate. But they're not zombies. They won't spread the virus. They're more like the zombies described in the sutra. These zombies carry some memories or obsessions from their lives. Gao Chang killed the crime boss. So after the crime boss turned into a zombie, Gao Chang will be the first to seek revenge on him. But Wang Dehai was killed by me. So after the crime boss turned into a zombie. But I didn't choose to kill Wang Dehai. Instead, I rushed towards the crime boss. Then with a single strike of my sword, instantly split the crime boss in two. And after his death, a crystal nucleus that can bring about a super strong physique flew out of his body. In his past life, Gao Chang relied on this thing. Gao Chang became one of the masters of Xanadu. After getting the crystal core, I ran away. Then I kicked Wang Dehai a few steps towards Gao Chang. I'll leave the rest to you. Seeing me heading upstairs, Gao Chang grabbed the yellow hair lying on the ground again. He held it in front of himself. Brothers, grab your weapons. Killada. I soon returned to the presidential suite. Zombies and mutant beasts in the post-apocalyptic world. There's a chance that this kind of nucleus will be born in their bodies. But the probability is less than 1 in 10 million. Just rinse it out and swallow it. Then your body can absorb the energy of the crystal. As I drank the crystal core in one gulp, the next second, a terrifying energy instantly erupted from my body. Then I lost consciousness and collapsed on the ground. On the other side, Gao Chang and his gang used up all the mineral water in the hotel before they doused the zombie to death. This moment, one of his boys grabbed Li Na and shouted that without water, we'll all die of thirst. You have to think of a way out. But Li Na pointed at Lu Ruyan. And said, she is Su Chen's fiancé. If you threaten her, Su Chen will definitely open the door. In desperation, Lu Ruyan said he was willing to cooperate, but only if he can have a full meal first. And it has to be meat. Upon hearing this, Gao Chang's face turned cold. You want to eat meat? Then you do it yourself. Then he handed a knife to Lu Ruyan. Lu Ruyan's face was grim. She looked at her phony friend. My good sister, since you are unkind, don't blame me for being unrighteous, she said. She stabbed at her best friend with a combination of knives. This scene. Gao Chang and my little brother were shocked by this scene. 2.5 days passed in a flash. I finally woke up from my coma. After absorbing the crystal core, my physique and speed have both improved, and I'm no longer afraid of the heat. At that moment, Duanya came to my house. Gao Chang and the others have gone crazy. This is my only hope. Without waiting for him to think, I opened the door and appeared in front of him. What do you want from me? After seeing my 8-pack abs, Duanya's face turned red with shame. I soon realized why he was looking for me, but I coughed a little. My resources are limited. I can't take you in just because you're pretty, right? At that, Duanya quickly said that besides being a chef, I'm also a medical school graduate. I've been a surgeon for 3 years, but I still refuse. Your offer is very attractive, but there's a shortage of supplies. I don't know if I'll live to see tomorrow. When I refused, Duanya became anxious. As long as you don't kick me downstairs, I'll be your girlfriend. At that, I immediately agreed. Since Duanya has asked me, I'll treat this place like my home. But I'll be honest. In front of me, your only choice is to do as you're told. Don't try anything, or you'll suffer the consequences. Now prove your attitude to me. In order to survive in this post-apocalyptic world, Duanya had to agree with a red face. After all, this presidential suite has water, electricity, and food, and a shower. Compared to the outside, this place is a paradise. Soon Duanya finished showering and came out from the bathroom. Su Chen, I've put on the clothes you asked me to. But the clothes don't seem to fit. But I smiled he. As a doctor, wearing a nurse's uniform is very reasonable. But there was a sharp knock on the door outside the house. The crime boss Gao Chang yelled from outside. Su Chen, open the door, or I'll kill your fiancé. Seeing this, Duanya hurriedly said, don't open the door. Those guys have already eaten Lina. If we open the door, we'll be killed too. When I heard that, my expression instantly turned cold. Are you saying they ate people? Then I slowly opened the door. Don't break down the door so easily. If you break it, you'll have to fix it. Hearing this, the people who were pulling Lu Ruyan's hair stopped what they were doing. Then they looked at me with fierce faces. Hey, are you finally ready to come out? Looks like they still can't let go of your fiancé. I laughed coldly at their words. Who is he? I'm just afraid that you dirty my territory. When I said that, my brother, who was hiding by the wall, suddenly attacked. He was holding a dagger. He stabbed at me in a flash. Just in the nick of time. I grabbed his wrist. Then I wrenched his arm. Instantly fractured his arm by 180 degrees. Gao Chang and the others were shocked when they saw this scene. They never expected I could be so fast. Right at this moment, Lu Ruyan broke free from Gao Chang's restraints. Then he quickly ran towards me. Su Chen, help me. However, the next second, I grabbed him by the neck. Then I said in a cold voice to the others, once you eat human flesh, your bodies will mutate. You've got sharp teeth in your mouths. Now you are no longer human. Gao Chang said with a fierce look on his face. Now the world has come to an end. As long as I can survive in this apocalypse, I'm willing to eat shit. As soon as he spoke, Lu Ruyan stretched out his sharp claws and grabbed at me. Su Chen, I can't wait to taste you. But I raised my leg and kicked it violently. Instantly sent Lu Ruyan flying tens of meters away. With this kick, directly knocked him out of the hotel corridor window. Kicked him out of the hotel corridor window. Just as he was about to fall from the building, Lu Ruyan grabbed the guardrail. Su Chen, I will never let you go so easily. But the next moment he realized something was wrong. The sunlight outside the hotel instantly shone on him. The scorching heat made her keep swaying painfully by the guardrail. At the same time, a few of my boys were screaming and rushing towards me. Let's go together. Don't give him a chance to draw his gun. When I saw that, but I stood still and didn't move. Against you lackeys. Need to waste my bullets? At that moment the front runner, directly a flying pounce towards me to kill. Bastard, don't look down on people. But the next moment, I raised my hand and shot him in the head. But I'm a man who likes to waste. The bullet passed through the back of Lackey's head in an instant. Seeing the scene, the other three immediately spread out. Surrounded me. Only long hair leaped to the top of my head. Kid, not only our strength, even our reflexes and speed have become stronger. In the case of defense, you can't hit us at all. So kid, now go to hell. But before he could finish his sentence, I jumped. I grabbed his head. You've been pussyfooting around for a long time. Have you finished? and then I made a violent dunk. Slammed long hair to the floor. Seeing that the bald head's knife is about to stab over, I grabbed his wrist with the knife. Then I did a 180-degree circle scrape. Instantly killed the two guys in front of me. Seeing this situation, the crime boss Gao Chong waved his fist and was about to hit me. But the next second, I grabbed him by the neck. Then I exerted force. Instantly smashed him hard against the wall. Terrifying force. Directly smashed the whole wall into pieces. But at that moment, a black shadow suddenly appeared at the end of the corridor. The next second, that black shadow smashed through the bulletproof glass of the hotel, and instantly came to me. After seeing the person, I frowned slightly. Lu Ruyan didn't expect. You've mutated to the second level so quickly. It seems that if I don't marry you, your grudge against me is quite deep. Then I broke Gao Chong's neck. Since you're so persistent, I'll kill you again. After hearing my words, Lu Ruyan's pupils instantly turned scarlet. Then he opened his mouth and roared. The terrifying energy burst out from his body at once. At this moment, facing Lu Ruyan, who had undergone a second mutation, I can't help but get excited. It's time to settle old grudges and new ones together. Looking at the battle outside the corridor, Duanya couldn't help but sigh in admiration. Su Chun is too powerful. He's actually one person. Took out Gao Chong's group by himself. But that inhuman monster gives us a very dangerous feeling. I must find a way to help. Since I've chosen to stay with Su Chun, I can't be a burden to him. As soon as I thought of this, Duanya went back to the room to look for weapons. Just when I was about to go to take care of the mutant smoke, I was stopped by Duanya behind me. He came out of the room with a whip in his hand. He said, Su Chun, I'll help you deal with him. However, when I saw the scene, I was a bit speechless. I admire your courage not to hide. But you will only distract me. Seeing what I meant, Duanya immediately blushed. But the mutant smoke not far away was a bit impatient. It opened its bloody mouth and rushed towards me. I didn't have time to react. The mutant smoke had already rushed to me. Then he swung his claws. He slashed down towards my body from top to bottom. Seeing this scene, Duanya immediately cried out in shock, Su Chun. Be careful, however. Mutant smoke's claw only cut through my clothes. It didn't hurt me at all. The sword couldn't break through my defense. Mutant smoke hissed in frustration. Then he dodged. He instantly came behind me. Then he opened his bloody mouth and bit down on my shoulder. But the next second, he realized that his bite was like steel. He still couldn't break through my defense. Seeing this situation, I sneered and said, Bite me. You cannot even bite. Then your mouth full of fangs are not for show? Now it's my turn. When I finished speaking, I immediately grabbed the mutant smoke's hands. I jumped up and instantly reached the top of him. Then I stomped on his back. Then, I said coldly, Are you ready to feel the pain? Mutant smoke's face was full of questions. He didn't seem to understand what I was going to do. But he didn't have time to think about it. I stomped my feet. I ripped off his hands. And his whole body was smashed into the ground by this kick. The terrifying force caused the ground to split apart in an instant. Feeling the pain, the mutant smoke. Sensing the pain, the mutant smoke was screaming on the ground. I landed behind him. I wanted to make you suffer more in the last days. Slowly torturing you to death. But now I have to beat you early. But what the mutant smoke did next surprised me. He curled up the ground with his tail. Then he opened his mouth. He stuffed Gao Chong into his stomach. In less than 2.5 seconds, a 3-meter man was swallowed whole by him. And the mutant smoke's hands, at this moment, also wriggled. In the blink of an eye, he regrew 2 new arms. Then he let out a deafening roar, as if he wanted to tear me apart. I was a bit surprised to see the scene. I didn't realize that a broken arm can grow back by devouring its own kind. I didn't expect that. Also surprised was Duan Nurse. As a surgeon with 3 years of experience, he obviously felt that this is not normal. However, he didn't wait for him to think about it. I laughed out loud. That's great. Having the ability to regenerate means you won't die so easily. That means I can tear you apart many times. Sensing my mockery, the mutant smoke hissed again. But the next second, I was already at his side. I grabbed his hands. Let me see. How many more times can you grow out of this body? With that, I opened my hand. I tore off his left hand in an instant. Now it's time for your right hand. As the mutant smoke let out a scream, I ripped off his right hand again. In addition to that, I also ripped off his legs and tail. Then I stomped on him hard. This is the first time. Let's call it your first time. Let's see how many more times you can grow. Soon the mutant smoke's wounds started again. Only, this time, the speed of recovery was much slower than last time. It took him 2.5 minutes to recover. However, not waiting for him to rest, I sneered. Are you ready? I'm about to start the second time. Duanya, who saw the scene, couldn't help but break out in a cold sweat. What kind of hatred is this? To be able to do this? The mutant smoke on the ground is also full of drama. Who is the monster? But he didn't wait to think about it. I started to disassemble again. Until the 21st time. Smoke's body finally stopped growing. And he also cried out on the ground. Suchin, didn't you love me the most? Why did you do this to me? I smiled coldly when I heard that. I did this. Of course it's for revenge. In my previous life I risked my life every day to look for food. I fed Lu Rian well for 2.5 years. But she took the male bestie with her. She took all my supplies. She even humiliated me to death. Now that God has given me this chance to be reborn, of course I will take revenge. And complain. Then I stomped on Lu Ruyan in his fearful eyes. I stomped him to pieces. Looking at me, I was in a state of madness. Fanya couldn't help but ask Suchin worriedly, "Are you okay?" But I looked at him coldly. "Are you ready?" Ignoring the neighbors who have been eating dirt for 2 years, suddenly found a big bag of chicken legs in my backpack. They all went crazy at once. "Give me the chicken legs, asshole, or I'll spare your life." When I heard that, I threw the chicken legs at them without saying a word. Seeing this, the 3 of them who used to be good brothers, they fought over the chicken leg. But just when they were about to touch the chicken leg, I gently pulled the thread in my hand. The chicken leg returned to my hand again. 1 chicken leg. 20 billion won't change the price. It turns out that the temperature has risen 100 degrees overnight. Fresh chicken thighs have become the most important commodity. 1 leg can save the lives of a building. At this time, the rescue point at the engineering university station. Lu Xiaofeng, who was on a rescue mission, suddenly noticed something strange. The originally hot weather seems to be cooling down gradually. Is the heat apocalypse coming to an end? However, he didn't wait to think about it. A large number of people appeared on the street not far away. "Captain, there are many people approaching the rescue point." The female captain turned her head to look at them. The next moment his eyes widened. These people are not survivors. They are clearly mutated monsters. It was too late for him to think. The crowd of zombies had already charged towards the rescue point. The female captain fired to suppress the firepower, while ordering Lu Xiaofeng to bring the people to the rescue point. Meanwhile, at the Green City Hotel, after taking care of Lu Ruyan, I decided to go out. Because I was the only one who knew. What people are seeing now is just the tip of the iceberg of the apocalypse. We must find that thing before the next apocalypse. Before the next apocalypse. Then I took out an SUV from the different space. At this time in my past life, many people were on their way to the rescue point. On their way to the rescue point, they were turned into zombies by the moon. Their obsession led them to attack a crowd of zombies at the rescue site. Many civilians and soldiers died in this disaster, and a lot of munitions were scattered all over the city. Eventually, a variety of forces were formed. That's why on this trip, I not only had to face the mutated zombies, I also had to watch out for the humans who had thermal weapons. But before I could think about it, a couple of psycho guys were in the middle of the road. "Stop the car in front of you." When I heard that, I put my foot on the gas. Then, in front of the shocked eyes of the mental boys, they were shocked. "You're sick. How dare you stop and rob me at this hour?" A few moments later, I stopped the car in front of a deep pit, just like in my previous life. The walls were cracked due to the moon's exposure, and the moisture attack. The subway station collapsed. Now the death toll of the entire subway station. At least thousands of people. Looking at the scarlet eyes in the pit, I sighed. Although there are many zombies here, but not all the zombies have crystals in their heads. It's too much of a waste of time to open their brains one by one. Let's go back to school and find that thing first. Since I graduated, this is the first time I've been back to school. Soon I arrived at the school's laboratory building. Then I put the parked SUV. I put it into the different space. After doing all this, I pushed open the door of the laboratory building and went in. But I didn't expect. I ran into 2 zombies chained up in front of the door. Then a man with slippers looked at me, coldly said, "Bastard, you want to get into our territory? Give me what's in your backpack." I slowly took out a chicken leg from my backpack. 3 big brothers. "Do me a favor and let me through. I have a fried chicken leg here." When they saw this scene, their eyes were glowing. "How can you still have a chicken leg at this hour? Throw it over here. Throw the chicken legs over here." When I heard that, I didn't say much. I threw the chicken leg in front of them. Seeing this, the 3 of them who used to be good brothers started to fight. After all, they had been hungry for 2.5 days. Who does not want to taste the taste of chicken legs? But at that moment, I gently pulled. The chicken thigh in my hand was back in my hand again. "I'm sorry, you don't deserve to eat my chicken leg." Hearing this, the 3 of them grabbed their weapons and rushed forward. "Bastard, how dare you fool us?" Looking for death, however, the next second, I pulled out my own gun. With 3 gunshots, I slowly walked towards the upper floors. Strange, I don't remember so many idiots. Is it because I warned? That's why more people survived. A few moments later, I arrived at the snake biology lab. Then I broke the lock on the door. Smelling the odor of decay in the air, I decided. No one had entered this lab for a long time. Many of the snakes had been starved to death. It didn't take long. I found what I was looking for. The Aleph snake, 2.5 meters long. So, you little guy. You survived by eating the corpses of your companions. In his previous life, the Aleph snake was the first animal that started to mutate. In the end, it became one of the dominant animals in this area. Even I almost died in its mouth. There's only a week left before the flood. That's when it will start to mutate. I don't know how far it will go this time. If it can't be defeated, it'll be a disaster. But looking at the wise eyes of the Aleph snake, I can't help but wonder, why do I feel that this guy seems to have evolved a trace of wisdom? It seems that we need to be more careful. However, without waiting for me to think more, outside the corridor came. There was a slight sound of footsteps outside the corridor. I saw 2 mental boys with weapons have quietly come to the door. I heard them shouting at the door, "Whoever's in there, get out of there. I saw you hiding in there." Thinking that it was the critical moment for the Aleph snake to return to its roots, I immediately decided to go out and take care of these lackeys. But just as I was about to do it, a white-haired woman suddenly appeared in front of the 3 thugs. Seeing that she was quick and agile, quickly rushed towards them. She first strangled 2 thugs in a flash, and then with a lightning-fast speed, she jumped to the body of the last thug. Then she twisted her hands, instantly broke the thug's neck. But before he could breathe a sigh of relief, he had a gun pressed against the back of his head. "He's a good fighter. Who are you?" But before I could finish my sentence, the white-haired woman knocked my pistol away with an elbow strike. Then, when I was surprised, a pair of long legs came at me. I only heard a bang. My neck was instantly locked by her legs. The next moment she realized with horror, no matter how hard she tried, she couldn't break my neck. At that moment, I silently pulled out another gun from my pocket. 2.5 minutes later, the white-haired woman was tied up by me. "Now can you tell me who you are? And what happened at the school?" The white-haired woman immediately explained her identity. "I am Bai Tsong, the captain of the Tsanghu Special Operations Unit. I advise you to behave yourself. Let go of me." At that, I asked Lu Xiaofeng of the Tsanghu Special Operations Unit. "You should know him, right?" Upon hearing this, Bai Tsong looked surprised. "Who are you and how do you know Xiaofeng?" I just smiled. "I saved his life." Afterwards, Bai Tsong found out that the crowd of zombies had attacked their rescue site. Bai Tsong asked Lu Xiaofeng to take the people first, to evacuate to a safe place. But he didn't realize that, among the crowd, there were prisoners who escaped from the prison. Now they've taken over the whole school. Not only did they take their weapons, and took the students as hostages. After learning the whole story, I untied Bai Tsong's rope, and handed him a rifle. "I have my own things to do now. I can't help you much. I can only give you a little firepower support." Then I waved my hand. "You can go now. Don't bother me anymore." But Bai Tsong said, "She's going to raid the thugs' lair. Only if we get back the supplies they've looted. The people trapped in the school will survive." When I heard about the supplies, I stopped dead in my tracks. Then I slowly pulled out a sniper from my backpack. I suddenly remembered, Lu Xiaofeng is my long-lost buddy. "I'll go with you." Meanwhile, at the school administration building, the leader of the mob is asking his men, "Did you find the woman? What about the dormitory building?" He said, "Son of a bitch. They've gone to look for the woman. The brothers are waiting outside the door. This time we'll be able to take down the students in the dormitory." The chief smiled coldly and said, "Good. Let the disobedient ones be at the front of the line. Let them die first." As soon as he spoke, the door of the room was suddenly kicked open. Then, I said in a cold voice to the people in the room, "Sorry to interrupt your meeting. I'm sorry for disturbing your meeting." When I heard that, my little brother asked, "Who the hell are you? There are more than 20 people outside. How did you get in?" "How did I get in? Of course that's how I got in." I raised my hand and made a shooting gesture. The next moment the head of that guy suddenly exploded like a watermelon. Seeing the scene, everyone was in a panic. What happened? How did he get a finger? And their heads exploded? At that moment, I pointed at them and threatened them. "You'd better stay where you are, or you'll be the next one to get your head blown off." Hearing this, the chief was too scared to speak out. "You'd better not play any tricks." At the same time, on the roof of a building not far away, Bai Tsong is looking through the 8X lens, reporting to me the situation of the rooms. In addition to the room that I sniped, there are at least 20 more headshots. "You're in a very dangerous situation. It's best not to do anything rash." Thinking back to what I said about using yourself as bait, I said I would use myself as bait to lure the enemy. Bai Tsong sighed helplessly. Why would I agree to such a ridiculous plan? Even if he was more powerful, he can't handle so many people by himself. However, he didn't wait to think about it. But he realized that the curtains of the room were suddenly pulled down by someone. Seeing this situation, Baitsong immediately asked me, why were the curtains suddenly pulled down? Su-chun, what's the situation over there? However, the next second, the sound of a headshot came from the headset. Bastard, don't think you've set up snipers outside. Don't think you can do whatever you want just because you've set up snipers outside. Let's see if I can kill you. Upon hearing this, Baitsong immediately carried his sniper towards the administration building. Sure enough, he's been discovered. Su-chun, try to stall for time. I'm coming to save you now. However, he had only reached half the distance. But the voice came from the headset again. Kill this brat for me. Seeing this situation, Baitsong accelerated his pace again. 2.5 seconds later, he crashed through the office door. Su-chun, I'm here to avenge your death. Only to see me grabbing the mob leader by the neck. He said, you're too late. The supplies here are gone. After seeing me finish off the thugs in the room, Baitsong was in disbelief. After all, as the leader of the Special Operations Unit, she couldn't have gotten rid of a room full of people so quickly. Seeing her so shocked, I said I've been exercising. Besides, they've already eaten all the supplies here. They're probably starving and have no energy at this point. Naturally, I won't tell them that I've taken all the supplies. That I've taken all the supplies. Tell Baitsong. Of course, if necessary. I can also give them some. But it depends on their performance. Then I walked out of the house. Come on, let's go to the girls' dormitory now. I've just asked. Lu Xiaofeng and the other students are gathered there. But right after we left, the body hanging from the ceiling suddenly shook. The next moment he slowly opened his eyes. Not long after, a man wearing a mask came to the administration building. He mumbled something about that guy. He's been screwing around again. I don't know if he's dead this time. But soon, he saw that the woman hanging in the office was still alive. He immediately gave the order. He ordered his men to save the woman. Then he said to the woman, Sister Na, you've been hanging here for 2.5 days pretending to be a prisoner. Have you found what you're looking for? Sister Na just said coldly, not yet. I need your help. At that, the masked man immediately took out a thorn whip. Okay, Sister Na. Prepare for a glorious evolution. Then he whipped her hard on her back. After 2.5 minutes, Sister Na showed an expression of enjoyment. This time, I finally feel that I'm not far from evolving. Then the masked man asked Sister Na, who took my supplies? Tell me his name. I'm going to make him pay. At that, Sister Na's expression immediately became serious. That man is a devil. His name is Su-chun. Meanwhile, in the girls' dormitory building, Lu Xiaofeng looked at Baitsong and me with some surprise. Baitsong, it's great to have you back. Why are you with Su-chun? I pointed at his wound and asked. Xiaofeng, your wound seems to be quite serious. Let me take a look at your wound. After seeing the wound, I immediately recognized. It's a scratch from the creature from the Taotai clan. Their nails harbor viruses and bacteria. If you don't use medicine in time, could be life-threatening. Upon hearing this, Lu Xiaofeng was silent. Because medicine is a scarce commodity, it's impossible to find them easily. However, without waiting for him to think about it, I handed him a bunch of medicines. Xiaofeng, take it. This should be enough. Seeing this, Lu Xiaofeng and Baitsong were both shocked. Su-chun, where did you get so many medicines? I just smiled lightly. I've already told you. I'm Xiaofeng's savior. I remember in the last official organization, there's a guy whose fighting power is comparable to a human-shaped nuclear bomb. The man known as the Wind God. If that man is Lu Xiaofeng, I wouldn't have lost my investment. Lu Xiaofeng slowly said, Su-chun, I owe you another favor. But I know, you definitely didn't come here to deliver my medicine on purpose. Tell me what else is going on. At that, I immediately said seriously, soon. The big flood is coming. You must evacuate to the high ground as soon as possible. The extreme heat has melted the glaciers. Soon the sea will flood in. The whole school will be flooded. However, my words were opposed by the girl beside me. Su-chun, what are you talking about? There's no such thing as a flood. I think you just want to trick us away and take over the resources of the school. The person who spoke was my classmate, Fang Qin. In the university, a famous feminist. A rich second generation who enjoys creating gender conflict. Then he looked at the backpack in my arms. Su-chun, your bag is so full. Is there a lot of food inside? Without waiting for me to answer, he reached for the backpack and grabbed it. The next moment, I smacked him 2.5 meters away. Looking at the big teeth that I knocked out, Fang Qin was in disbelief. After all, he's always been so arrogant and domineering at school. He didn't expect me to hit him directly. At this time, the boys around us all clapped their hands and shouted, well done. Just because his family has a few bucks. All day long he's been causing trouble at school. She even occupies a dormitory by herself. We've been sick of her for a long time. Hearing this, Fang Qin immediately yelled at you creepy guys. How dare you do this to me? I'm going out to find my dad right now. I'll tell him to kill you all. With that, he rushed out of the girls' dormitory without looking back. While walking away he cursed. All men in China are creepy guys. Especially that Su Chen. And foreign gentlemen cannot be compared. However, he did not run out far. He was caught by the masked man. Little baby. Tell me quickly. Where is that Su Chen? On the other side. After leaving some supplies for Baizong and the others, I left the girls' dormitory. After all, the most important thing now is to wait for the Aleph snake to mutate. To subdue it. By then. I don't know if I'll be able to obtain a water control ability. But I had just walked out a short distance. I heard a faint cry for help. Su Chen. Save me. I saw Fang Qin hanging in front of a truck. Behind her is the man in the mask. The masked man looked at me. In a cold voice he said, I am Steel Fang from the evolution base. Are you Su Chen? How dare you rob our supplies? I thought you were a big shot. I thought you were a big shot. My expression immediately went cold. You're from the evolution base? Steel Fang tapped the trunk of his truck. That's right. I've prepared a special gift for you. As soon as he spoke, the steel door of the trunk clanked open. In the next second, thousands of zombies slowly came out from inside. Then Steel Fang looked at me and smiled. Not a bad gift, right? However, facing thousands of zombies, I stood still and didn't move. I'm coming. I'm coming. The first time I showed my strength, I scared everyone. With just one slash, I killed hundreds of zombies in an instant. Even the evolution base was uprooted by me. Inside the girls' dormitory building, Baizong and Lu Xiaofeng were about to distribute supplies to the people. Suddenly, they heard a bombie's roar from outside. Baizong immediately ordered Lu Xiaofeng to stay put and protect the people. He went outside to find out what was going on. Meanwhile, outside the dormitory building, Steel Fang looked at me. He let out a sneer. Su Chen, this girl is your classmate, right? How about I give you a chance to save her? As long as you kneel down and beg me, I'll let her go. Those words, Fang Qin immediately became excited. That's great, Su Chen. Kneel down quickly. Quickly save me. But I smiled. It's not impossible to save you. But I have a question. Fang Qin was stunned. What's the problem? Don't dawdle here. Save me. Fang Qin is getting more and more agitated. You creepy guy, are you trying to back out? I'm tied up here. You're not at fault? Get down on your knees and save me. Are you still a man? I just laughed coldly at that. Of course I'm a man. But it's a pity that I'm not worthy to save you. I'll contact those foreign gentlemen for you now. Let's see if they're willing to save you. Upon hearing this, Fang Qin was furious. Because I called you a creepy guy. Because I said you were a creepy guy. You want to get back at me like this? You think I'd stoop so low as to apologize to you? It's impossible. You're a creepy guy through and through. I don't need a creepy guy like you to save me. But he pointed underneath him. Oh yeah? Then I hope you'll remember what you said later. When Fang Qin heard that, he looked down, only to see dozens of zombies have surrounded his body. The next moment, he broke out in a heartbreaking cry for help. Su Chen, I was wrong. Please save me. However, before Fang Qin could finish his sentence, the crowd of zombies had already dismantled him into pieces. At that moment, Steel Fang in the car smiled at me. You're really a guy who sees death and saves lives. But it doesn't matter. Soon you'll be with him. He took out a box of black powder. He smeared it on his face. Now, I'll show you the evolution base's high technology. As long as you apply this powder on your body, and these monsters will be obedient. I almost laughed out loud at that. Rub the zombies' feces on your body. It'll make them think you're one of them. After hearing my words, Steel Fang was shocked. This damn thing is actually shit. Then he threw the powder away. He threw up 3 pounds of it. Then he gave orders to the crowd of zombies. I'm gonna tear this motherfucker apart. The crowd of zombies was about to jump on me. I immediately opened my hands. In the next second, I pulled out 2 big knives from different space. Then I turned into a stream of light. I killed them instantly. The crowd of zombies didn't give Steel Fang time to react. I had already arrived in front of him. At the same time, not far from the corner, Baizong, who saw me surrounded by crowd of zombies. Both of them were startled. Su Chen was surrounded by crowd of zombies. We have to help him. At this moment, Steel Fang in the car looked at the motionless. The crowd of zombies roared, what are you standing here for? Quickly tear him apart. But I waved my hand and stopped shouting. They're all dead. As soon as I said that, the crowd of zombies behind me instantly fell apart. Seeing this, Steel Fang was filled with disbelief. How is this possible? In only 2.5 seconds, you've killed hundreds of zombies. But before he could finish his sentence, I performed a space jump. I was behind him in an instant. Originally, I didn't want to have any interaction with you, the evolution base. I didn't want to have anything to do with you. But who made you come to kill me? Then I grabbed Steel Fang. Now I can only ask you to die. Then, in front of Steel Fang's shocked eyes, I uprooted his head. Baizong was almost shocked when he saw the scene. The fight was over in a flash. This is definitely not something that can be achieved by exercising. Su Chen, What kind of monster is this guy? After finishing off Steel Fong, I was calm. I should be a bit more restrained when dealing with these fishes. I wish I had a right-hand man. Meanwhile, at the Green City Hotel, Duanya suddenly woke up from his sleep, listening to the noise from outside the room. He immediately realized that a zombie was approaching the room. Thinking back to what I said before, only those who are useful are qualified to stay by my side. Duanya resolutely picked up the pistol at the side. Su-chun, I will never be a burden to you. I want to be your right-hand man. Then Duanya took the pistol. Duanya took the pistol and checked one room after another. However, after 2.5 minutes, but there was no sign of zombie at all. But at that moment, a hiss suddenly sounded behind Duanya. When he turned around, I don't know when, a zombie had already crept up behind him. Seeing that his way out was blocked by the table, Duanya quickly grabbed his pistol and prepared to kill the zombie. However, because he was too nervous, the pistol accidentally hit the stool next to him, and instantly fell on top of the table. Seeing that the zombie was about to open its bloody mouth and bite him, Duanya could only close his eyes silently, waiting for death to come. But what he didn't expect was that zombie bit on the stool that made the noise. Duanya was puzzled for a while. What's going on? Why didn't this guy bite himself? When he took a closer look, he realized this zombie was actually blind. Seeing this situation, Duanya quickly held his breath, shrinking his body to prevent himself from making a sound. Then he reaches out and grabs the pistol not far away. As long as he can get the pistol, he can kill the zombie in front of him. He was 2.5 centimeters away from reaching the pistol, but the table rattled when zombie hit it. When he heard the noise, the zombie, it immediately bites at the source of the noise. In the nick of time, Duanya hurriedly raised his leg and kicked the zombie's head with a high heel. However, it didn't cause much damage to the zombie. Seeing this situation, Duanya hurriedly pulled out his high heels, ready to kick some more. But the zombie grabbed his ankles, so he couldn't move. In a hurry, Duanya quickly switched to his other foot. He kicked the zombie's head vigorously. After kicking for 2.5 minutes, the zombie finally lost his voice. He fell to the ground with a loud bang. Seeing this, Duanya sighed. Su-chun, it's a pity that you didn't see it. I'm not some useless trash. Then he picked up the fire axe on the ground. He came to the zombie. Let's see if there's a golden river in your brain. At the women's dormitory of the University of Engineering, Baicong and Lu Xiaofeng, after listening to my advice, started to organize the evacuation of the students. And Baicong contacted his brother, Bai Kuan. He asked him to lead the troops to protect the students. Looking at Baicong, who was looking around, Bai Kuan laughed and said, "What's wrong? Do you miss that handsome guy named Su-chun? Let's take the students and evacuate. When the next wave of zombies arrives, Su-chun will definitely die if he stays here alone." But Baicong directly denied his brother's opinion. Su-chun won't die. The first time I saw him, I felt that he was very strong. That deep, mysterious and unfathomable look in his eyes. I felt like he was a monster. At the same time, in the laboratory of snake biology, I looked at the Aleph snake in front of me. I said, "Now let's see how far you can mutate." Then I brought a bucket of water and put it in front of him. The source of water is the necessary condition for the Aleph snake to mutate. The moment the Aleph snake touched the water, his body was transformed. In just a few seconds, the Aleph snake evolved into a dragon. And the bucket couldn't handle his huge body, started to change shape. In the next second, the bucket exploded with a bang. And then the Aleph snake also appeared in front of me. I was shocked. I didn't expect it to be so big. I didn't expect it to be this big. It's a good thing I'm only providing a bucket of water now. If we wait for the flood, his size will increase geometrically. But now you have to consider is whether or not you're willing to submit to me. I might even consider taking you as a pet. But as soon as I spoke, the Aleph snake fled towards the window. I thought it was a bad idea. He's trying to escape. It seems that this guy really has grown wisdom. Soon the Aleph snake crashed through the window of the laboratory building and escaped. I followed him with my long knife. It's hard to let you mutate early. I can't let you escape like this. Then I raised the long knife in my hand. I struck the tail of the Aleph snake. But what I didn't expect was, his scales were so hard. The knife broke at the first touch. The Aleph snake also seized the opportunity, opened its bloody mouth and bit me. I hurriedly dodged to the top of him. Since the knife is useless, I'll use my fist to smash you to death. Then I swung my fist violently, instantly knocked the Aleph snake to the ground. But at that moment, the Aleph snake's body suddenly surrounded me. In just a blink of an eye, it wrapped me up in a tight circle. This makes me admire the intelligence of the Aleph snake. Your attack just now was just a false move. Your real intention was to strangle me, right? And the Aleph snake didn't give me time to say anything else. It opened its bloody mouth again and bit down on me. But the next moment, I grabbed his mouth in my hands. You are indeed very smart. But in the face of absolute strength, all efforts are futile. I've heard that snakes have highly developed nerves. Even if their heads are cut off, they can still bite. But if that's the case, I grabbed the Aleph snake and threw him upside down. Then I stepped on his scar. And with my hand, I yanked on his jaw, splitting his mouth in two. After finishing off the Aleph snake, I dug a crystal out of his head. I don't know what kind of surprises this crystal could bring me. The world was flooded overnight. Everyone wanted to hide on Mount Everest. But the man jumped into the deep sea. It turns out that right after the 100-degree heat of Armageddon, it's not a new life. It was a flood. If the extreme heat wipes out the will of man, then the floods that swept the world completely destroyed human civilization. While everyone was running for their lives, I took the initiative to dive into the deep sea. Turns out that after absorbing the core of the Aleph snake, I gained a new supernatural ability. Whenever my skin touches water, my skin grows tiny scales when it comes into contact with water. Not only does it greatly enhance my defense, and the scales can also make my eyes to be very sensitive to light. What amazes me even more is that I don't breathe through my mouth or nose. I don't feel suffocated in the water. It's as if I'm breathing through my skin. Although I don't have the ability to control water, but being able to breathe freely in the water is also very good. Now the flood is coming from the Green City Hotel. The water is as fierce and dangerous as a hidden weapon. It's very difficult to swim back to the hotel against the current. And it's not long before the volcano erupts. That will create a massive amount of ash that will cover the sky. This will also lead to the end of winter. And in the face of these apocalypses, the civilization of mankind is nothing but a joke. If you don't want to be a fish out of water, we have to improve our strength. After the flood in the last world, several powerful forces emerged in Xanadu. Because of the low-lying terrain in the north of the city. In the north of the city, because of the low-lying terrain, were occupied by the Aleph snake and the ghostly army of the Queen of Corpses. To the south of the city is the cannibal tribe of Tautai. Anyone who passes through there will lose a few layers of skin. To the west of the city is controlled by the Mouse King and his trillion mouse army. And the east of the city is controlled by Skull Shatterer Gaochang and Duanya. In my last life, I almost died several times at the hands of these four forces. Now, Gaochang and the Aleph snake have been taken care of by me in advance. If I want to maintain a strong team, I have to get the Mouse King and the Queen of Corpses, and the core of the Tautai leader. But the Tautai are outnumbered, and they've got a lot of different camps. And the Queen of Corpses. The Queen of Corpses is very secretive. It's basically hard to find him. So the Mouse King became my first target. In my last life, there was an outbreak of bubonic plague at the University of Science and Technology. The Mouse King must be there. If I can find him in advance, I'll be able to get his crystals at the lowest possible cost. While I was thinking about how to proceed, I was surrounded by the ghostly. At the same time, on a signal tower, a bald man looked at the flood. His face was full of shock. What the hell? Why did the flood suddenly erupt overnight? But suddenly he seems to notice something. Brother, look. There seems to be someone swimming towards us in the water. When he heard that, the thin man looked towards the water. Damn, isn't that Suchin? This kid was not drowned by the flood. If the base hadn't sent us to keep an eye on him, we wouldn't have encountered this flood. If he dares to come here, I would have kicked him into the water. Then Baldy continued. He seems to be followed by a group of things. When they got closer, they realized. Behind me, I was followed by a large group of Black the Ghostly, and what shocked them even more, I was swimming upstream. But my swimming speed was no slower than that of a world champion. Seeing this situation, Baldy quickly warned. Suchin, we're from the evolution base. I'm warning you not to come over. But as soon as he said that, I jumped straight up from the water, and in front of Baldy's shocked eyes, I kicked him into the water. Seeing his own brother about to fall into the water, Skinny grabbed his wrist in a hurry. I've got you. Hold on to the pole. But Baldy couldn't reach it. The thin man could only pull his brother as hard as he could. He couldn't let him fall. Baldy shouted. Brother, let go of me. I'm too heavy. If we go on like this, we'll both die. I said slowly, hurry. Tell me everything you know. Tell me everything you know about the evolution base. But the skinny man gritted his teeth and said, you can die. I will never tell. Even if you kill us, there will be someone to avenge us. But as soon as he spoke, the zombies in the water have already surrounded him. Then he grabbed Baldy's ankle and dragged him into the water. Seeing this, the thin man anxiously shouted, brother, don't be afraid. I'm coming to save you. Then he jumped into the water with a splash. But as soon as he hit the water, a zombie jumped towards him. Just in the nick of time, I made a timely move. I split the zombie in two. Then I turned into a god of killing in the water, and instantly killed the crowd of zombies. The two brothers were dumbfounded by this scene. Damn, is this guy still human? This is too strong, right? After eliminating all the zombies. After successfully saving the two. The thin man slowly said, you saved our lives. I'll tell you everything I know. In fact, we are sent by the evolution base to spy on you. The evolution base is headquartered at the University of Science and Technology. Inside. It's centered around the lab researchers led by Mr. Liu. We're just the understudies. I was slightly stunned by what I heard. In my previous life, the bubonic plague broke out at the University of Science and Technology. It seems to be closely related to the evolution base. So I asked the thin man, is there any research on rat mutation in the labs of the University of Science and Technology? Slim shook his head. Only researchers are authorized to enter the lab. We really don't know. Seeing this situation, I didn't ask any more questions. Now we can only go in and find out for ourselves. I have to do it before the plague breaks out. I'm coming. I'm coming. Duanya has finally awakened. His own unique psychic ability. Not only can you control other people's mental movements, he can also transform into anything you want. At this time at the Green City Hotel, after absorbing the zombie crystal core, Duanya's eyes turned scarlet. In the next second, a strong electric current instantly swept through his body. Then Duanya gasped for air. Have I succeeded? But he didn't wait to think about it. The water had already begun to reach his ankles. You know what? The floor he was on was 60 meters high. At that moment, Duanya seemed to realize something. The next moment, a tentacle monster wrapped around his body. It wrapped around his entire body. In just a few moments, Duanya was bound and unable to move. Right after that, the tentacle monster opened its bloody mouth and bit him. Duanya hurriedly grabbed the tentacle with both hands. But soon his hands were controlled by the tentacle monster, and his whole body was hoisted up. As more and more tentacle monsters were coming towards him, Duanya couldn't help but break out in a cold sweat. After all, he hadn't yet fully adapted to the supernatural power he had acquired. There was no way he could be a match for so many tentacle monsters. At that critical moment, he suddenly thought of what I said before. As long as we can find the crystal core and eat it, he will definitely get his powers. But many monsters look very ordinary, so it's impossible to tell what kind of powers. It's impossible to tell what kind of powers they have from the appearance of the crystals. If you don't know what kind of power, if you don't know how to use it, then use your body to feel. Feel the changes in your surroundings. Then try to master it. Try to control it. When I think of this, the corner of Duanya's mouth slightly hooked. I can finally feel it. Then he looked at the shiny part of the tentacle monster's body. This is your little brain, right? Stop it. All of you. As he spoke, the tentacles that were still approaching him suddenly froze in place. Duanya breathed a sigh of relief. I'm so sick of being covered in goo. Then, he picked up the fire axe on the table. Next, I'm gonna show you what it's like to cut a leek. So he cut them like leeks. He cut the tentacles in front of him like a leek. After these monsters, Duanya organized his clothes. His body was so dirty. He had to go back to take a bath again. But at that moment, a black shadow suddenly appeared behind him. Duanya hurriedly turned around and prepared to fight. But I smiled at him and said, not bad. I haven't seen you for a few days. You've grown a lot. He even knows how to defend himself with a weapon. When he saw that it was me, Duanya was startled, and then instantly jumped towards me. Great, Suchen. You finally came back. I've been worried sick all these days. A few moments later, Duanya and I went to the bathroom, ready to clean up the dirt on our bodies. It's true that only when you go out do you realize that it's better to be at home. It's hard for a normal person to live outside. Let's wait a couple of days. Then, I smiled and asked Duanya if you've awakened your supernatural powers. Duanya was scrubbing me. Duanya asked curiously, how did you know that? I just smiled. Because I could feel. You have a different aura about you. Welcome to Awakened One. I then asked him what his awakened powers were. Duanya thought for a moment. Then he said, I think it's mind control. With that, he stood up and said, I'll practice on you first. I was a bit confused. How do you need to practice this? But the next second, my pupils suddenly stunned. I saw that Duanya had transformed into a phantom demon. Boss, how about practicing like this? However, without waiting for him to finish his sentence, my body suddenly erupted a terrifying spiritual energy. But Duanya was shocked. Is this Su Chen's spiritual energy? If it wasn't for his acquiescence, I might have collapsed myself the moment I tried to influence him. I would have collapsed first. At that moment I hemmed and hawed. Hey, a smile, so that's how it is. It's a good power. Let me feel it tonight. Early the next morning, I took Duanya to the top floor to practice my marksmanship. After all, the gun is fast from 10 meters away. Within 10 meters, the gun is accurate and fast. With my finger pulling the trigger, the two tentacle monsters in front of me had their heads blown off in no time. Then I gave the pistol to Duanya to practice on his own. I asked him to familiarize himself with the gun. To familiarize himself with the gun and master his powers. You'll be going out with me next. It's time to show what you can do. The neighbors have been eating dirt for 2 months. Suddenly saw me eating hot pot. They all went crazy. They're eating so well. Let's grab him. But what they don't know is, all this is all a fantasy created by my rabbit girl. It turns out that right after Duanya familiarized himself with the art of shooting and mastered his powers, we drove the speedboat to the University of Science and Technology. On the way, Duanya asked me if I had been there before. I just said lightly, I had a brother who went to college there. I don't know if he's alive now. After all, it's been 2.5 months since the end of the world. The social order has become chaotic. Ordinary people. It's difficult for ordinary people to survive in such an environment. Seeing that I look a bit down, Duanya quickly comforted the boss. Don't worry, there's always a silver lining. I'm sure he's still alive. A few moments later, we finally arrived at the University of Science and Technology. This is the place where the mutated Mouse King rose to power in his last life. The entrance to the university is now blocked by wooden boards. When the guards on the fence saw outsiders coming, he started shooting at us with a machine gun without saying a word. Seeing this situation, I rushed to protect Duanya in my arms. Then the gatekeeper on the wall asked in a stern voice, Who are you? Who are you? What's your purpose? In order not to alert the police, I said I was here to join the evolution base. I hope he'll let me in. The gatekeeper just smiled coldly. The bunny girl behind you can come in, and you can go back to wherever you came from. But as soon as he said that, Duanya came out with a plate of braised pork. Brother, for the sake of this roast pork, please let us in. When the goalkeeper saw the roast pork, he was so excited. In the last days, even a steamed bun would cost $2 million. Not to mention this plate of aromatic braised pork. So, he quickly ordered Li Tao to open the door. How long has it been since I ate meat? Soon the wooden door of the University of Science and Technology was slowly opened. The goalkeeper couldn't wait to get to the speedboat. Pull the boat over to the side for me, and give me the roast pork. I didn't realize Duanya's psychic manipulation. To give him an illusion, the roast pork that made him drool all over the place was actually a ghostly arm that had long since rotted. Under Li Tao's guidance, we soon entered the interior of the evolution base. From what he told us, the outer part of the base are for old people and children, elderly and children who don't have the ability to fight. But the further inside, the higher the status of the residents. While Li Tao was talking, a child accidentally crashed into him. Li Tao immediately cursed. What's wrong with you, kid? Don't you have eyes when you walk? Duanya walked up and held the little girl in his arms. She seemed to be starving and had no strength. So he handed over a piece of bread. Sister, here's a piece of bread. I'll give it to you. But the little girl said timidly, but if I eat the bread, Sister Bunny will go hungry too. I went up to her and explained, Don't worry, little girl. Sister Bunny won't go hungry. But the little girl didn't believe me. You're lying. How can anyone not be hungry nowadays? At that, my face sank. You can question my character, but you can't question my ability. Then, I took out a table of hot pot directly from the different space. If you are my woman, you can't go hungry. This made Duanya's head full of black lines. And the little girl was all excited. Brother, I want to be your woman too. However, without waiting for him to finish his sentence, Duanya shoved the bread into his mouth. Kids, don't talk nonsense. Eat the bread. At that moment, a voice came from behind us. How dare you cook hot pot here? I saw a one-eyed man with 2 of his boys. Towards us. Bunch of bitches. Don't you know, it's against the rules to hide food. All supplies must be turned in, and then redeem them with your contribution. But I don't remember anyone exchanging food in the past few days. So who's breaking the rules? Hearing this, the little girl was immediately scared and trembling. She didn't dare to eat anymore. Seeing this, Duanya immediately turned to look at me. When I nodded my head, Duanya stood up. He said to one-eyed man and the 3 of them, After all this talk, don't you want food? I've prepared all these things for you. With a flash of red light in Duanya's eyes, the next moment a large table of food instantly appeared in front of one-eyed man. Seeing this scene, the 3 of them rushed forward and feasted on the food. Damn, it's so delicious. This familiar feeling, this familiar flavor. I'm going to cry. One-eyed man was devouring the food. He said in a slurred voice, You're a good girl. Then I'll punish you again tonight. But that newbie, you broke the rules. You must be punished. I was calm when I heard that. I was even curious about the punishment. He was talking about. With one-eyed man's command, 2 figures were dragged out in chains. The punishment is a duel with these 2 men. Either you die, or they die. After seeing their faces, I was stunned. These 2 people, aren't they the 2 bald brothers I saved a while ago? What's going on now? At this moment, the little girl who was originally quiet suddenly rioted. Big brother and second brother. What's wrong with you guys? You bad guys. Let go of my brother. Duanya hurriedly pulled the little girl away from him. Something's wrong with them. Heard that. The one-eyed man, who was feasting on the food, was also interested. If they screwed up the mission, they've already been sentenced to death. But it would be a shame to kill them. Then he smiled at me and said, I've made up my mind. If you lose, I'll throw the 3 of them into the water and feed them to the ghostly. At this moment, looking at the rabbit brothers in front of me, couldn't help but frown. These 2 brothers seem to have fallen into some kind of crazy state. Have they been injected with some kind of drug? However, without waiting for me to think about it, one-eyed man just shouted, let the duel begin, let's go. With his command, 2 of his minions immediately loosened the chains that bound the rabbit brothers. Seeing that Baldy was about to jump in front of me with a roar, I slapped him with my hand and sent him flying. And then, I knocked the skinny guy behind me unconscious with a slash. In less than 2.5 seconds, I knocked the 2 crazy brothers to the ground. One-eyed man was shocked when he saw this. They were taken care of so quickly. What a waste of 2 potions. Then, he looked at me and said, I'm in a good mood today. Give me all your supplies. I'll pretend this never happened. When I heard that, I sneered. Why should I give you all the supplies? At this moment, one of my boys jumped out and said, You're new here, aren't you? Anyone who enters the University of Science and Technology must abide by the rules of the Lubos. Only then will there be no chaos here. Besides, we don't keep idle hands here. If you want to stay here, you have to pay for materials to get contribution value. Obviously, this rule is only beneficial to those who customize it. So I said slowly, that's fine. But you've already eaten all our food. There's nothing on hand now. But just then, a huge figure appeared behind one-eyed man. If you want to get contribution value, come and work for me. Just saw a few Batmen struggling to carry a big wooden chair. And on top of the wooden chair, there is a 500-pound fat man sitting on top of it. Seeing this situation, Duanya and I were both surprised. It's not easy to stay fat in the end of the world. Obviously, this guy is living a very comfortable life. At that moment, a Batman could not bear the weight. Suddenly fell to the ground, feeling the shaking of the chair. The fat boss's face immediately darkened. Then he slowly picked up a wooden stick and threw it with force. The next second, Batman was directly pierced by the wooden stick. Then the fat boss smiled at me as if nothing had happened. He smiled at me and said, Now you see, I'm in need of a replacement. You can take his place. As for the rabbit girl next to him, as long as you are my woman, I'll provide you with a can of beef and instant noodles every day. You should also know, this is the end of the world. Industrial production has stopped. I'm willing to pay a lot of money for you. The one-eyed man also chimed in. Our captain was kind enough to invite us. I'd advise you two not to take advantage of it. But at that moment, that boss seemed to smell something. He immediately asked one-eyed man in a cold. He asked one-eyed man what the smell was. What have you guys eaten? The moment he said this, one-eyed man and the others were immediately scared and fell to their knees. I'm sorry, Captain. We won't do it again. Please give us another chance. If there's any food in the future, I'll bring it to you first. But the fat boss growled. Shut the fuck up. Have you eaten shit? You're killing me. Get the fuck out of here. Duanya and I were both stunned when we heard that. Duanya's mind control was actually broken by him. No, he didn't have any effect on him. After hearing what Fatty said, one-eyed man and the others were also stunned. No, Captain. We are obviously eating. But the next second, they suddenly came to their senses. Then, one-eyed man spewed out a stream of filth from their mouths. Then they were like eating shit. They ran towards the toilet. Seeing this, the fat boss's veins rippled. How the hell did I get such a henchman? Even if you're hungry, you can't eat shit. Sooner or later, I'm going to kill you fools. At this moment, I'm looking at the fat boss and pondering. It's strange. Obviously, I can't feel any supernatural power in this guy, but he gives off a strong feeling of power. And under his influence, one-eyed man and the others are under Duanya's control. They came to their senses. I don't know what kind of person this fat guy is, but judging from the reaction of his men, it's likely that he's not an easy man to deal with. If we get rid of them now, I'm sure it'll cause trouble for my next move. I'd better find the mutant rats first. Not waiting for me to think more, Fat Boss continued to ask me, how have you considered my proposal? I just said lightly, I still want to understand the situation of the base. I don't want to join for the time being. Seeing that I refused, the Fat Boss didn't make things too difficult for me. Instead he laughed and said, don't worry. One day you'll come and beg me. After seeing the Fat Boss and his gang leave, Duanya apologized and said he was sorry. His spiritual power is quite strong. My powers can't affect him. I just smiled and said, it's not your fault. But those guys who ate the ghostly's body didn't die. There must be something strange about their bodies. We have to be careful. At that moment, a voice rang out behind me. You've offended the Green Guards. They won't let you go. I saw a young man with a bandaged head. He said to me, Su-chun, you must come with me at once. Seeing my puzzled look, the bandaged man quickly said, I'm Tianyu's roommate. We met the last time you came to school. On the other side, the fat boss ordered his men to keep an eye on Li Tao. Keep an eye on that woman. Don't let them get away. Then he licked his tongue. It's rare to see such a beautiful woman in the end of the world. It's over. The goddess Duanya has been attacked. He was just in the middle of changing clothes. But an alternative sister suddenly appeared behind him. Just when Duanya was about to die, I appeared just in time. With just one look, I scared the alternative sister into stopping right there. At this time, in a ruined building of the University of Science and Technology, after settling the little girl's two older brothers, I followed Miao to the shelter. From what he told me, the students who survived are all here, and because Tianyu often helped them. So this place has also become the territory of the Field Service Department. While I was wondering what the Department of Field Service was, a figure came behind me. He said, the field office is very strong. Even if we meet Tao Tai, we can still fight with them. I saw a young man wearing goggles. A young man wearing goggles came to me. Are you interested in joining us? Miao excitedly pushed me to the front. Tianyu, look who I've brought here. Upon hearing this, Tianyu hastily took off his goggles. Take a closer look. Damn, Su. It's really you. He hugged me excitedly. I thought you were dead. I didn't realize you were still alive. That's great. But the next moment, Tianyu seemed to see something. Then he looked at Duanya and became even more excited. Damn, isn't this the legend of our University of Science and Technology? Duanya, the cold-faced goddess? Why is the legendary goddess here? And she's dressed as a bunny girl. On hearing that, Duanya was a bit embarrassed and came to my side. Su-chun, I better change my clothes. It's too embarrassing to be dressed like this in front of the juniors. Looking at Duanya's intimacy with me, Tianyu and Miao felt worse than the death of their own father. Why is he hugging the goddess? After a few moments, Tianyu led us to a room. I'm a bit messy here. Why don't you guys just take a seat? Duanya can change his clothes in this room. At this time, I asked Tianyu about Brother Tian. It must be dangerous for you guys to go on missions, right? Tianyu sighed. How can it not be dangerous? You're just lucky. You're all clean. You haven't been through the trials and tribulations of the apocalypse. From now on, you can stay here. I can still take care of you. A good doctor like Duanya. You don't have to go out looking for food. All you need to do is take care of the wounded. But there's one thing I must warn you. Don't fool around. It's the end of the world. You're still letting them run around in a bunny girl outfit. I don't know what you're thinking. I'm a bit embarrassed to hear that, Brother Tian. Don't worry. I'll protect her. But Tian, you punched me in the brain. You have to keep your word. I don't know who was bullied in high school. He didn't dare to fight back. In the end, it was me who helped you fight them off. The captain of the guards is not a good guy. No woman he likes ends up in a good place. Especially Duanya. Such a beautiful woman. He will never give up. Meanwhile, in the room, Duanya was changing clothes. A dark shadow suddenly appeared behind her. Then, that person pressed a dagger against Duanya's neck. The person. It was Sister Na, the leader of the engineering university thugs. Then he said to Duanya slowly, Captain Gua, I'm here to arrange accommodation for you. You're a beautiful woman. Naturally, you can't sleep with those boys. At that, Duanya's eyes suddenly glowed red. I don't need to. As soon as the words left his mouth, Na's sister instantly froze in place. Then she let go of Duanya uncontrollably. Then Duanya looked at Na's sister. He muttered, although it's difficult to control you with spiritual power. But it's still possible to deal with you for a short period of time. Su-chen will take care of the rest. After saying that, Duanya turned around and prepared to leave the room. But right at this moment, Sister Na suddenly raised a dagger and stabbed it into her palm, forcing herself to rely on pain to regain consciousness. Without giving Duanya time to react, Sister Na was already rushing towards him with the dagger. In a split second, he pushed Duanya against the wall. You're a strange little girl. I almost fell into your trap. But at that moment, there was a knock on the door. Duanya, what's going on inside? Why is it so noisy to change clothes? Sister Na hurriedly covered Duanya's mouth. In the next second, I kicked open the door. Seeing this, Sister Na said in a cold voice, obstructing my work. You are looking for death. Then she raised her dagger. She took an arrow step and flew towards me. Seeing this situation, Tianyu hurriedly blocked in front of me. Su-chen, be careful. After hearing my name, Sister Na was stunned. But soon she saw my face clearly. In the next second she couldn't stop shivering. It's the Su-chun from his engineering college. Soon the memories flooded into his mind like a tidal wave. I was like a demon. I slaughtered all the thugs in the engineering university. Although Sister Na himself has killed many. But his intuition told him, if he did it, he would die. Something had to be done. As soon as he thought of this, Sister Na slipped through Tianyu's crotch. She knelt in front of me. Master, I was wrong. Please punish me. Tianyu looked at me with disbelief. He knows Sister Na's methods very well. How could he call an ordinary college student his master? A woman wants to live. In order to survive, a woman stripped naked in front of a man. But without saying a word, I threw her into the sea from a high building. Turns out that just now, my arrival scared Na's sister to kneel down and call for God, to prove his sincerity. He even stripped off all his clothes. Tianyu and Miao were dumbfounded by this scene. Suchen, do you have such a strong taste now? However, as soon as they spoke, Sister Na's eyes suddenly turned cold. She threw out a smoke bomb. He took this opportunity. He took advantage of the situation to run away from the house. Having seen my bloodthirsty and violent side, he knew that if he didn't run, he would probably die. But the next moment, Sister Na's jaw was clenched by a big hand. Then I looked at him. I said in a cold voice, you don't think you can get out of here? You think you can get out of here, right? Sister Na anxiously shouted, wait, you can't kill me. That little girl and her 2 brothers have already been taken to the Colosseum. If you kill me, they will also die. I stopped what I was doing. I threw him from the building into the sea. At that moment Tianyu asked Miao to ask the little girl, what was the situation? After learning what happened, Tianyu became anxious. If we don't save them, they'll be bitten to death by the rats. When I heard that, I instantly thought of something. The rat they were talking about. Could it be the Mouse King in the early stages of mutation? So I decided to go to the Colosseum first to find out. Inside the Colosseum, the fat boss was smiling and said to the little girl, your 2 brothers did not complete the mission. They are guilty of a capital offense. But if you can walk out of the Colosseum alive, I'll consider giving them another chance. At that, the 2 brothers told their sister to run. You can't believe this guy's bullshit. But the little girl ignored her brother's words. Instead, she asked the fat boss, if I survive, will you really let them go? Will you really let them go? The fat boss just smiled and laughed, that's for sure. But only if you survive. As soon as he spoke, a huge rat was released. In just a split second, the little girl felt a chill down her back. Without waiting for him to react, the rat opened its bloody mouth. It bit him on the arm. And the little girl's thin body was quickly pounced on by the rat. At this moment in his mind, he remembered all the time he spent with his brothers. In order to fill his stomach, he found a lot of unknown mushrooms. And the second brother tried to test the mushrooms. To test whether the mushrooms were poisonous or not, so that he could give them to his sister. However, not even 2.5 minutes. He almost died on the spot. The last scene is the scene where the 2 brothers went out on a mission. They told him not to run around. When they come back, there will be food. At this moment, looking at their sister, who was pounced on by a giant rat, the 2 brothers immediately shouted, sister, don't worry about us. You have to live a good life. Go down and watch the scene. But the fat boss is interested in stroking the chin. Shut up. Tell them to shut up. Received the order of the younger brother. Kicked the stakes under the brother's feet. Seeing that the 2 brothers were in trouble, the little girl leapt up with all her might. Then she took the wooden stick in her hand and plunged it directly into the eyeball of the mutated rat. The pain caused the rat to let go. The little girl was able to free herself from the rat's grip. Then she ran towards her 2 brothers. Big brother and 2 brothers. I'm coming to save you. But the little girl had just run out a short distance. The mutant rat had already arrived behind her. With one claw it knocked her down. Seeing this situation, the fat old man laughed heartily. How can a little kid try to save others? I've always said that losers like you shouldn't live in this world. At this moment, the little girl has been crushed by the mutated giant rat. She was crushed by the mutant giant rat. Looking at her 2 brothers who were suffering from asphyxiation, the little girl cried out in frustration. We just want to live. Who can save us? As soon as he spoke, I instantly appeared in front of him. I smashed the mutant rat's head with my palm. Seeing the scene, the little girl's mouth was wide open in disbelief. Not far away, Tianyu and the 3 of them were also shocked. Suchen was too impulsive. This is someone else's territory. And I just looked at my palm with a disappointed face. Seems that this rat is just big. It's not the mutant rat I'm looking for. At this time, the fat boss not far away finally came back to his senses. It's you again. Since you want to die, I'll let you have your way. With his command, the iron fence of the Colosseum was slowly opened. Then countless scarlet eyes looked intently at me. The 2 brothers, supported by Tianyu and Miao, they walked to the little girl's face. Thanks to you, little sister. You saved us. The little girl shook her head. It was Brother Suchen who saved us. Meanwhile, on the other side, Na's sister, who was just thrown into the sea by me, came behind a man with glasses. Boss, the one called Suchen is very special. Using his genes, we can definitely solve the problem of genetic instability in Doomsday. The man with glasses just said lightly. Really? The rats he's facing now But with the latest technology, they're even more ferocious than the previous ones. If he dies here, he doesn't deserve to be my special material. On the other side of the Colosseum, with the light of the knife in my hand, the mutated rats behind me, I killed them with ease in an instant. This scene directly made Tianyu, who was not far away, look dumbfounded. Is this still the Suchin I know? That boss was also stunned. This kid still has something. And I still look disappointed. These rats don't have any crystals either. Right at this moment, the loudspeaker on top of the pole. Suddenly came a man's voice. Attention all units. This man is the material I need for my experiments. Fatty and Tianyu. You two bring him to me. At that, Fatty smiled at Tianyu. The boss has spoken. You're done. She told Duanya to leave first. Otherwise, he won't be able to leave again. But Duanya said with a firm face. I won't leave here. As long as Suchun is here, I won't go anywhere. At this moment, the fat boss laughed wildly at Tianyu. Tianyu, I heard that you and Suchun are brothers. It's thanks to the boss that we survived. What should you choose now? When I heard that, I looked at Tianyu. Tian, what the hell is going on? From Tianyu's mouth, I learned that the person who just spoke was named Lu Hayun. The person who just spoke is called Lu Hayun. In the early days of the apocalypse, he developed a potion that can make people stronger. But this potion requires overdrawing one's life force in exchange for strength. If we don't get the potion, we will become more weak than anyone else. I said I have a solution, and asked Tianyu if he would come with me. But he shook his head sorry. Suchin, I'm afraid I have no choice. Seeing this situation, the fat old man laughed even more wildly. Ha 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 ha. I never thought I'd see brothers fighting against each other today. It's really funny. It's almost time. Boss is still waiting for us to bring the men over, he said. He swung his meteor hammer towards me. But the next moment, Tianyu kicked him 2 meters away. But I don't want to make a choice today. At that, the fat boss's veins rippled. Tianyu. How dare you betray the boss? Tianyu said in a cold voice. What's this bullshit? The boss just wants to use medicine to control me. I'm a dead man. If I die, I die. But if anyone dares to touch my brother, I'll fight him to the death. Looking at Tianyu, who is the same as in my memory, the corner of my mouth slightly hooked Tian. He's still the same Tianyu. After hearing Tianyu's words, that boss was furious. I'll smash you all together today. Upon hearing that, Tianyu rushed to him with an arrow step. You're a fat pig. You're not even close. Then he swung his fist. Ola ola ola. He threw dozens of punches at the fat boss. However, the fat boss laughed coldly. Boss, I knew you would defect. That's why I've always given you the first grade potion. But I'm using the second grade potion. My fat is the strongest defense. No one can hurt me. With these words, Boss Fatty swung his meteor hammer towards Tianyu. Although Tianyu used both hands to catch the meteor hammer. But he was still shocked by the terrifying force. He spat out blood from his mouth. Seeing that Tianyu was still trying to resist Fat Boss, Big smiled coldly and said, Go to hell. Then he pressed the switch on the meteor hammer. In the next second, the meteor hammer bared its teeth. An electric current flowed out. Tianyu is in trouble. Is he going to die here today? Just in the nick of time, I kicked away the meteor hammer. I stomped on the hammer towards Fat Boss. In a split second, the grip was inserted into his head. And I heard that no one can hurt you, right? Tianyu was so shocked that he couldn't stop talking. My strength is far beyond his understanding. Not far away, Duanya and Miao were even more shocked. Lu Hayun, who saw this scene in the monitoring room, his expression also became solemn.